Do you have a dog that suffers from fear or reactivity, that barks at people or trucks on the street, that barks at other dogs, that pulls you toward other dogs, that chases squirrels or rabbits or cars? If you do, then this is the video for you.
Squirrel! Squirrel! Listen, learn, speak, dog!
Hi, I'm Elisa. I'm a physician turned dog trainer, and it is my mission in life to make dogs smile. I see dogs of all kinds for just general issues around the house, puppies who need a good start in life, but I specialize in fearful and reactive dogs. And what we're going to talk about today is a game that can change your dog's life. I know that might sound like I'm exaggerating, but I have seen it happen. It is a game that will give your dog the power to tell you when they see something, even something they might be concerned about, or even especially something they might be concerned about, and will reframe it into something positive. The game is called Look at That. It comes from the amazing Leslie McDevitt, who just happens to be my mentor. I'm a certified Control Unleashed instructor, and you can read all about it if you have not in her 3 amazing books, Control Unleashed. I'll link them in the description. But the Look at That game is a very famous game because it is a great way to turn a concern of your dog into a cue to play this game with you. It gives the dog a feeling of being in control. When you see a dog who plays this game, you'll see that they're so proud of themselves. They take something that was previously scary and they're just so happy to see it because they get to play this great game with you. The power cannot be underestimated. When's a good time to play the game? We play it during the socialization period before a dog is 16 weeks old, when they're puppies, with things that might be potentially scary to them if they were not exposed in a positive way to them during that time. You can also play it when the dog sees something that might be scary to them or might be triggering to them. You can play it when you see the thing first before they do, so you can let them know it's coming, or the dog can cue you on their own without you cueing them. So it works both ways. It's really a conversation between you and your dog. You can also play it in the presence of something that the dog might want to chase, in other words, prey. Like I said in the beginning, like a rabbit, a squirrel, small children, anything that might trigger your dog to chase. Playing this game can prevent that from happening. What is it? What is Look at That? Think of it like I Spy with my little eye, where you show someone in the car when you're on a long car ride, I spy with my little eye something red. And then everyone's looking, oh, what do you see? So you're reporting on something that you see. Again, it's a conversation between you and your dog, so you can talk about the thing. But sometimes even more importantly is, what is it not? It is not about you asking your dog to look at something. That's really important. The important thing in Look at That is that your dog will never interact with the thing. They are just showing you that they know it's there. We're not going to force the dog to look at something. We're really just asking them to indicate in some way that they know it's there. The other thing it's not is asking your dog to look at you and not look at the thing. So a good example is I am deathly afraid of bees. When I was a kid at camp, I was attacked by a swarm of bees. So if we're having a conversation outside and there's a bee anywhere near me, I cannot pay attention to you because all I can think of is, where is the bee? Where is it now? Is it close? Did it go away? And if you're talking to me, I'm not really processing what you're saying. I'm not able to concentrate. I can't think about anything but that bee. We're not asking the dog, don't look at the bee, just look at me. We're allowing them to look at the bee and then look back at you. It gives the dog the freedom to interact in a normal way with the environment before they really, and I'll get to this in a second, engage with the bee. That's the part we don't want. Some of the things that are important to understand before we talk about how to teach the game and see some examples of what it is are any predator animal has this sequence. And if you have a dog, I'm sure you know this will sound very familiar. You know, your dog sees, let's say, a rabbit. They see the rabbit and then they see the rabbit. I call that just they lock in. Once they're locked in, like in Top Gun, you see the fighter pilots on the screen, you see that the target is locked in, and then no matter where that plane goes, the missile will hit it because they are locked in. Once your dog has hit the point of locking into the target, it's really hard to interrupt the rest of the sequence from happening. And the rest of the sequence being locking in, then stalking slowly toward the rabbit, then picking up speed and chasing the rabbit, then grabbing it, biting it to kill it, then, sorry for being graphic, ripping it apart. You've seen your dog dissect a toy probably to get a squeaker, like that, and then eating it, and then guarding it after that. That's the sequence. We want to try and interrupt it at just the, oh, I see it, not, ooh, I see it. Does that make sense? Okay, so the second important thing is to determine what's the distance your dog can be from the thing and still be relaxed. So you hopefully know your dog's body language. You can tell when they're feeling comfortable and when they're starting to tense. You want to make sure that you identify the distance where your dog is far enough away that they can still be relaxed, but obviously close enough that they can see that something is there. So that's the critical distance, very important. And I would also probably go a few feet farther away than that critical distance. The third thing is the value of your reinforcer. Before you teach the look at that game, your dog should know some marker word that means they're getting a treat. So it could be a clicker, it could be the word yes, it could be good. Whatever that word is, your dog needs to have some marker word or sound so they understand when they hear that a treat is coming. The reinforcer, of course, when you go outside, that will keep your dog engaged or paying attention, has to be usually a little better than something you use just in your home. If you're outside, and normally your dog will pay attention if you have chicken or a piece of hot dog or steak or whatever it is that you have, then know that that usually works in that environment. And if your dog will not take that treat when the thing is there, then it could mean a few things. It means that you're too close. That's the number one thing. And you need to back up more because your dog is too over threshold to be able to take the treat. If your dog does take the treat, but they take it hard, like they really snap it up, not gently, that also is a signal that they are over their threshold or too stressed, and you should increase your distance. We don't want to have something that's so great, so high value, that your dog will endure something scary just to get it. Because imagine remember Fear Factor? So imagine I had $10,000 in a pit, and in that pit was the thing that scares you most. I don't know, a bunch of scorpions, spiders, whatever, and I said, put your hand in there to get the $10,000. You might do it. You'd be like this the whole time. But at the end of it, you would be no less afraid of spiders or scorpions. It has not worked to counter condition you. It's only something you endured. So make sure you're not increasing the reinforcer value so highly that your dog will do anything to get it. But instead, take the fact that they won't take a treat that they normally would take outside as a cue that you need to increase your distance. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to tell you now how to teach the game and how to play it, and I'll show some examples. I'll put some videos in here. At the end, I'll tell you a couple of great stories, so stick around for that, about how amazingly this game works. The first way of teaching it is the classic way, that being your dog is on a mat, so a place that they feel secure and is associated with calm and safety. When we teach mat work, that'll be a separate video if you're interested, The mat is sort of like your bubble of safety. When you're on your mat, no one can approach you unless you give them permission to, so you know that you're safe and that something is not going to come and interact with you. So a dog who's fearful or reactive, that's a big deal. Knowing that, hey, if I'm here, I'm good. Nothing is going to get me. So when we teach it on a mat, we have that added layer of that knowledge that they're safe. We start in a non-distracting environment like your home, and use a neutral object that your dog is neither afraid of nor excited about, but just like, oh, they'll look at it.
Okay, here you'll see an example of me teaching Monkey, who is a Cairn Terrier I worked with. He has a lot of issues with reacting to other dogs, especially males. So I'm teaching him here using a coaster. I put the coaster behind my back. I pull it out because he's going to naturally look at it because it's just come out from behind my back. I mark him and reinforce. I repeat that until he understands that when he's looking at the coaster, that's what's being marked. Keep doing that until he understands that. Then I keep the coaster out so that I'm not now adding that little hint of pulling it out right from behind my back. And same thing, I'm marking and reinforcing him for looking at it. Then I put it down here. I'm putting it down, it's a little bit out of frame on the side of the dog bed. And doing the same thing, marking and reinforcing. Once he really understands that what he's being marked for is indicating, not necessarily looking at, but indicating that he sees the coaster, I then add the cue, where's the coaster? It doesn't matter what I say, but I like to always use the same first two words, whether it's where's the or show me the, just so that every time I do this, no matter what it is, he understands, oh, this is the cue for that game that we play. Then I switch to a book to show him it works for everything. You'll see me here using my stuffed decoy dog, Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. So I'm doing the same thing here. Then I move Bruno over to the other side. And then once we got really good at it, we went outside and we sat across the street from, a lot of dogs walk by this particular street. So we sat across the street so we'd be far enough away, and we played the game using real dogs, and he did great.
Another way I've recently started teaching it, for dogs, some dogs get very bored playing that game inside, and they can kind of learn on the fly. So the way I've started teaching those dogs is I'll just be outside on a walk, and when the dog notices something, I'll mark it and reinforce it. And I'll engage with them. I'll say, oh, you see a bench? Yes. You see that kid? Yes. Where's the bush? Where's the tree? Where's that squirrel? If they're not reacting to the squirrel. So things that are neutral for the dog that they happen to just already be interested in noticing, I will use that as an opportunity to put in the framework of the language, the cue.
Oh, they're over there. Yes. Good boy. He took it a little hard that time. Where's that bird? It's very close. Yes. Good boy. I'm trying to interrupt him before he can really lock in. Yes. Good boy. He showed me without me asking. Where's the bird? There it is right there. Oh, where's the bird? Yes. Good boy. So that bird was sitting on the grass the whole time. He was great. You are great. Okay. There they are. Yes. Good boy. Where are those birds? Yes. Good job. Where's that bird? Yes. He would be chasing that bird right now. Where's the bird? Where's the bird? Oh, you're just going to lay down? Okay, yes. The bird is so close and he laid down. Wow. And the idea is not to have him look at the bird, just indicate it, right? And then certainly not to have him just look at me, because I don't want to require him to not look at the thing that might be concerning for him. I want him to just tell me or indicate to me that, hey, I know that's there and cool. Yes,
it's a cue to play this fun game with you. So it does two things. It gives him a way of initiating a game, and it also reframes the potentially concerning stimulus as something positive. What are those noises? Yes. What are the noises? Yes. What are those noises? Yes.
What you're seeing now is me playing Listen to That with my foster dog, Penny. I live in an apartment building, and we have a little neighbor who lives 2 doors down, and Penny would hear her come out of the apartment and bark. So Penny decided to lay on her mat, and we played Listen to That. And you're seeing her indicate that she hears Jade in the hallway, and I'm marking her and reinforcing her for that. It works like a dream. And she chose to do this on her own, so that's the power of look at that. Or listen to that.
Listening to that. Yes, which is just like look at that. But we're listening. There's the elevator. Where's that noise? I know. Good girl. Where are those noises? Yes. Are we good? Are we all good? Good girl. Here you go, baby. There you go. Good job. So this is the story of Benny Beep Beep. Benny was adopted from PAWS, which stands for Philadelphia Animal Welfare Society, where I volunteer. And Benny was in the process of hopefully being adopted, and his potential adopters lived in they still do, lived in an apartment complex that had a duck pond, ducks and geese. And they were concerned. They wanted to do a meet at the apartment complex to see how Benny would react. We really wanted to make sure he would be adopted and make sure that we had a good experience with that. So I brought one of his favorite things, which is string cheese, and I shredded it in advance. I was all prepared. We got far enough, I thought, from the duck pond, and Benny didn't even at first notice the ducks. Then finally he saw them. I said, "Where are the ducks?" "Yes!" And I gave him some cheese. And of course he looked back at the ducks, and I said again, "Where are the ducks?" "Yes!" And reinforced it. So we did that a few times. He really picked it up quickly. He understood right away what we were doing. And then we started walking down the trail. And as we were walking, a duck came walking up from the bank onto the land where we were. And Benny saw it before I did. So he saw the duck. He ran over to me and looked at me like, "Hey, I saw a duck." And I said, "Yes, you did. Good job. I see it too." And he kept doing that. We were laughing so hard. It was adorable. And he was so proud of himself. He knew what he was doing, and he was like, seeing the smile on his face. Sorry, I just probably jiggled my microphone. Seeing the smile on his face was worth everything. The other example is of a puppy that I was working with, a little English cream golden retriever named Mister. And we were coming back from a walk into his apartment building, and we were in the lobby, and some movers had a pallet, like one of those big things that wheel objects, a pallet, I guess, yeah, and had some gooseneck lamps on it. And Mister was very concerned about the lamps, and he was looking at them and kind of started backing up. So I said, "Oh, movers, yay!" and started feeding him turkey. And then I said, "Hey, where are the movers?" Because he kept looking anyway. And every time he'd look, I say, "Yes!" and mark and reinforce. Soon he was offering looks at the lamp, looking back at me, and he had the best time. I recently babysat him for 4 days, and oddly, someone in my building was moving, and there was a big moving truck in back of the building, and we walked back there to get out to the park. And as he walked by that truck, no problem, because as a puppy, he became used to, we see workmen on the street, we see the orange cones, which used to scare him. No problem. Playing the look at that game just changed the whole picture for him. So this game has my heart because it is magic. So if you play it correctly, you will see the same kind of results, and you will also be amazed at seeing your fearful or reactive dog breathe out, exhale, and smile. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped. If there are any questions, please put them in the comments and I'll try and answer them. Also, put in the comments any suggestions for videos you'd like to see in the future. Thanks for watching, squirrel friends. Now go make a dog smile today. Bye.
Squirrel!